What's going on, people? Welcome to the United Stand, the late night flex. Big up to everyone who's just been watching the Champions League. I think RB's Leipzig got the win over there. Entertaining game that, especially in the second half. Listen, the news is in, or early reports about Andreas Pereira, if you're just joining us, from Brazilian outlet Esporte Interativo. And they are reporting that Andreas Pereira is heading for the exit door at Manchester United, which is, look, a lot of people will be jumping in saying, finally. I can see Abu Khan says, finally. I see a lot of people, obviously, on social media saying, thank God, it's about time. He was nearly going to get a testimonial. And look, let's just take it away from all of the comical comments and stuff like that and talk about it properly. And am I surprised? No. This isn't confirmed. This is just, early reports from a Brazilian-based outlet, and they're saying that he's demanded a move, and Solskjaer has asked to keep him, wants him to stay, but he's basically saying that he can't guarantee him the game time that Andreas Pereira is going to want and Andreas Pereira is going to need. And I think that's very interesting because, look, since we all know, since Bruno Fernandes has come in January, him, Jesse Lingard, Juan Mata in particular as well, have received a lot less game time. Bruno's taken us from strength to strength and has done brilliantly since he's come in. And we knew the likes of Pereira, Lingard, the players playing in that number 10 position, weren't going to get much game time. I think Pereira started against Derby. He started against in the Europa League out there in Las Glins. So not playing in the big games, coming on for little cameos. Did he start against? No, he didn't start against Norwich. So, not playing in the big games, and it's coming to a point where, Andreas Pereira has been surplus to requirements, similar to the Jesse Lingard story, I suppose. I mean, yeah, he's younger than Jesse Lingard, but in terms of being able to get that level of game time, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And to be fair, in an order, if you was asking me, I would rather hold on to Juan Mata before I get rid of. I would rather let Andreas Pereira go and keep hold of the likes of Juan Mata and potentially Jesse Lingard over Pereira. I understand that. I mean, Jesse Lingard will probably attract a bigger transfer fee. So if we're looking to, rejuvenate the squad, that's a key point there. But with Andreas, we're talking about a player who has plenty of opportunity. There was a super chat there, actually. I want to get up on the screen. Zamiasi says, would you swap him? Would you swap Ozil for him? I mean, look, obviously Ozil's a better player than Leipzig. Why am I saying Leipzig? Why am I doing that? It's a massive thunderstorm here. It's late. Allow me. Would I swap Andreas Pereira for Ozil? Obviously, Ozil's a better player by far, but the Ozil that is now about, God knows, he's probably just as bad as Pereira. So allow that. I'd rather just sell Pereira. He's had his chance. So I wouldn't take him for Ozil, no. But yeah, Pereira's he's had a chance. He's played so much this season, especially before Bruno Fernandes came. We've seen him, and even before that, we've seen him play as a number 10. We've seen him play as a number 7 out on the right. We've seen him even play in midfield as a number 6. Sometimes he's played on the opposite wing. And what I get with Pereira is a player that has a good touch, looks silky on the ball. He's got decent feet. He's got good technique. He can play. But I think it's up here. I don't know what his mentality is like. And I don't mean as a professional. I mean in terms of his football brain. I see Pereira have a lot of moments where he passes instead of dribbling, he dribbles instead of passes, he shoots instead of passing, or passes instead of shoot. Just continually making the wrong decision. I remember a goal he scored this year against Brighton, I want to say it was. I think it was against Brighton. And he travelled from pretty much the halfway line. I don't know if you guys remember, he was running with the ball. I don't know if it was Martial one side, Rashford on one side, or it could have been James. I don't know who it was. He had 2 players either side of him. And you're thinking, right, just slip one in, Andreas, slip one in. He tries a step over. You're thinking, slip one in. Doesn't slip one in. Loses the ball. It ends up going back to Martial. Martial sets it back to him, and he takes a shot, and it hits off the defender and goes in. But that was just, I remember thinking, he's lucky, he got away with the one there. And that just kind of, when I think of Andreas Pereira, I think of a player who, when he's in the squad, he's got a good engine. He can get about the pitch and he's mobile. I understand that. He's got good touch. He's decent on the ball. But when it comes to making good decisions and keeping the ball, he just doesn't make them often enough for me. You know, he doesn't make good decisions often enough. Mr. Beast, thanks for the contribution. He says, to be fair, I think Lingard inspires youth more than Andreas. I mean, you can say what you want about Lingard inspiring the youth, I suppose. I see where you're coming from with that. And the talks are as well that it's Valencia that are interested in Andreas Pereira as well. They had him in the 17-18 season, and he actually done quite well. You know what about Andreas Pereira? You've got to put a little bit of respect on the player. I mean, the reason why he's getting the criticism is justified, so I understand that, because he hasn't lived up to the heights that we expected. But those heights were kind of set from, we saw him go out on loan and saw him do well in Spain a couple of times. We saw him, you know, people call him the pre-season Pirlo. In pre-seasons, he's looked amazing, you know, banging free kicks, top bins. I remember he done one against Liverpool a couple of years ago under Jose on tour. And just looked good. And to be fair, you wanted to see him come back and get a chance. And he has had that chance. He's had a couple of seasons. He was here all last year. Didn't exactly, you know, pull up trees. He's been here this year. I remember a game against Wolves when all of our midfielders were injured. I think Matic was injured. I think, obviously, we didn't have Bruno. Pogba was injured at the time. And I think Fred was injured as well. I think it was Fred. And I think, or was it? No, I think he played. Sorry, Fred was the only recognised central midfielder at the time. I think McTominay was injured as well against Wolves, and he just didn't do that well. And, you know, you're just not sure what's his best position. Is it on the right as a winger? You don't see him kind of get past people, whipping a whole bunch of crosses, take people on for pace. He's not that type of player. In the number 10 position, which is where I think his best position probably is, he doesn't seem to make the right decisions. And clearly as a 6, as a combative midfielder in actual central midfield, that's not for him as well. So it's going to be the right thing for him to do in terms of his own career. I respect that. I respect that, because for me, he's not going to get the game time. And you know, we look at this drop off in quality. I think that it's a good thing that we're potentially going to move him on. Whether or not Solskjaer's begging him to stay, which, you know, he probably shouldn't, in my opinion. But if he does move on, it shows that the club, if they let him go for the right price, we can fill that void with another quality player within that position who can kind of fulfill the squad role. You know, we keep seeing when we bring on our substitutions, the drop off in quality is far too much. Rio Ferdinand was talking about it the other day when he was like, the drop off in quality when they make substitutions from the first 11 is too great. You know, and I was tweeting today about, you know, when it comes to the Sancho thing, it's like the Sancho deal was turned into a choice between getting a stellar signing for 100 million, who will definitely make our attack way more potent than it is, versus the squad depth, you know, because even if we just get Sancho, it's not enough. So that feeds into the players like Alexis, who are gone to create more space. It feeds into the players like Jesse Lingard, who potentially might be on his way out. Feeds into the players like we're talking about now, Andreas Pereira, to free up the space in the squad for players who are going to be able to come in and be on our bench on a rotation basis and actually make a difference when they're selected. Andrew C, thanks for the contribution, says, Flex, only one highlight for me of Andreas when he scored a perler versus Southampton. Yeah, 25 yards. I remember that. That was, again, I think he made a mistake to make Southampton go 1-0 up in that game, if I remember correctly, or he might have given away a free kick or he did something. So I remember when he scored that goal, I was thinking, flipping it, he's redeemed himself. Or it could have been, he should have passed, and then he stuck it in the top bin. Probably the latter. About 25 yards at OT, I do remember that. Apart from that, that lots of hope, but that a failure. Pretty much saying that, you know, his best moment is scoring that goal, top bins against Southampton in the league, which I do remember very well. And that's just it. You know, with how many chances he's had to play, he just hasn't taken it. It's the same with Jesse Lingard. We know what's been going on off the pitch, but it's all about taking the chances. It's not like Solskjaer hasn't given these players chances. You know, it's not like an Angel Gomez where he just didn't get a chance and we're thinking, oh, it would have been nice to see a bit more of him, but hey ho. Like Andreas has been given chance after chance, and I think he's just proved that he's just not at the required level. If you want to be winning stuff, I just don't think that's the level. Just not, you know what I'm saying? You might look silky on the ball. You know, people always have a laugh and say, right, he's supposed to be Brazilian. Where's the Brazilian flair? Where is it? Like, check his passport. I wouldn't go that disrespectful, but I see what people mean. It's like he has the look, he has the feel, he moves like a player who's got ability, and he does have ability to a certain extent, but it's just not enough. He just doesn't look after the ball well enough. He doesn't make the right pass at the right time to the right player. He doesn't play in the right areas. I just see a lot of disappointment in him. And if you look at Juan Mata, how he is, well, he's streets ahead of someone like Pereira. I think Juan Mata streets ahead of Jesse Lingard as well in terms of the way he uses the ball. Another contribution from Brian Flanagan. Flex, do you think Mata still has a part to play? Made a difference against Copenhagen when he came on. Against teams that sit deep, he can be useful. We will talk a little bit about Juan Mata, actually, since you brought it up, because it kind of feeds into what's going on with Pereira right now. Over nearly 6,000 people watching. That is 6. Smash a like on the video. Hit the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner if you are new. Remember, you can join the United Stand Members Club as well. Get a little badge next to your name and an emoji. If you're joining us, Andreas Pereira has potentially asked for the exit door at Manchester United. There's talks of him maybe going back to Valencia. They did actually say there's talks going between French clubs, Portuguese clubs, and Spanish clubs. So it could be anyone. I mean, I remember when Bruno signed, there was talks of Pereira going the other way as part of the deal, which didn't quite materialize. So maybe Sporting might come back into him. So if you're just joining us, that's the latest there. But yeah, back to what was just said about Juan Mata having a part to play. Absolutely. Look, when Mata plays with the better players, he plays well. I remember against Norwich, I think it was Norwich, because I remember Todd saying that he had a hard time against Mata. Mata played out on the right, and I think he set up Rashford at home. I think he won like 4-0. Set up Rashford with an intelligent pass. When Mata plays with better players that are on his level, he can play. You know, when Mata links up with Martial, when Mata links up with Bruno, if Mata links up with Rashford, it's a different Juan Mata. Where I do feel for Juan Mata is the fact that he has to play with the second string. He plays with players who are not quite on his level. You Jesse Lingard's, he's been going through a tough time. Yeah, Andreas Pereira's, Igalo is just not the same type of thing. Although, to be fair, I remember against Bruges, yes, it's Bruges in the Europa League, but at home when we beat them, I think 5-0, 5-1, Mata played really well, and played well linking up with Igalo. Basically, Mata still can play cameo roles. He can play 20 minutes. You know, he come on against half an hour against Copenhagen. Yes, they were tied, but he changed the game. He could have come on the 60th minute and played to the end of the game and done something. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, Juan Mata still definitely has a part to play. Daniel Louis says, I would rather get Sancho this summer. We can build squad depth next year, but we have massive difficulties trying to sign Sancho after this year. I agree. I agree to a certain extent. The Sancho thing is a do or die. It's now or never. If you don't do it now, it kind of always goes back to Sancho, doesn't it? If you don't do it now, you're going to get the likes of Real Madrid, maybe Barcelona, maybe even Bayern Munich. Who knows? They're all financially stable again, or they've improved their finances dramatically, and it's not a one-horse race anymore. The time might have gone. So I do think it's a now or never in terms of Sancho. But like I was saying earlier, guys, and a lot of you did agree with me. If we just sign Sancho, which is what this is turning into now, which is like we have to spend our whole budget on that, that will be all we sign for me. I don't think we sign Sancho for 109 million pounds, 120 million euros, whatever you want to call it. I don't think we sign Sancho for that much money and then are able to bring in a quality attacking midfielder for the bench, a quality centre-half to play alongside Harry Maguire, another fullback potentially, a defensive midfielder potentially of quality. I don't think we see those signings. We definitely don't see that amount of signings. And then we're kind of left with, okay, people were saying, yeah, but if everyone is fit, then X, Y, Z. Well, we're Manchester United. We shouldn't have to be relying on just if everyone is fit. And even like I said today, if we rely on just everyone being fit and you add Jadon Sancho in, I think it will make us potentially finish maybe more comfortable in the top 4, not having to wait to the flipping last day. But you're not. I don't think we're going to significantly reduce that gap to Liverpool. And when I say significantly, I mean reducing it by at least 20 points. That's significant. I don't want to see getting third next year and we're 28 points behind instead of 33. It's not enough. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think it's all about perspective. I know that we can't go from third to first in this season. We can't do it. Even second is going to be a big ask. But what we can do is ask to drastically reduce that figure behind the top 2 to a respectable figure and then build again. The next season we should be challenging. So it's a weird one with the Sancho thing because I think it's turning into actually, whichever way it goes, if we do get Sancho, considering how they're acting, Borussia Dortmund, with the price, it's going to be at the expense of the depth of the team that we actually need. And then say we get an injury to Martial, well, then you're just back to the plain front three again, which might have Sancho in it. Then you might put Greenwood up front. You got Rashford. What happens if Rashford gets injured? Okay, you put Sancho on the left, and then you're back to having Martial and Greenwood on the other side. You still only got them three. Then what if you get an injury to Pogba? If you get an injury to Bruno? And forget injuries as well. I said this to KG the other day. Sometimes it's not just about injury. What if these managers ain't playing well? What if you just need to switch it up? What if Bruno's just having this? There's been quite a few games where Bruno's been having a stinker. Yes, we've left him on because we know something might happen, but it just didn't even look like it's happened. It's been a penalty that's come, or it happened the other day against Copenhagen. He wasn't playing too well. It happened against, was it West Ham? Not West Ham. Who was it? Leicester. Sorry, he was playing awful. But you look to the bench, but you think, who are you really going to put on in place of Bruno Fernandes? And that's the problem that we have. That's the real problem. Not attacking Bruno because you're saying his numbers are shit and he can't do this or he's not as good as everyone thinks. Like I saw the fan base yesterday on Twitter having a meltdown talking about this player and that player. That's not really the real issue for me. The real issue is, what if someone's just not at it? Sometimes Pogba's not at it. He's playing shit. He's playing brass. Who are you going to bring in? There's no one even close to filling that void. Do you know what I'm saying? Every player has their weaknesses, actually, which I want to talk about towards the end of the show. But back to the Andreas thing. He's looking like he's going to move on. I think he should. Because he's not really going to get any game time. Why keep him? Skullfagri says Sancho's situation stinks of the same old. Could do worse than looking at Leon's English winger. Could do worse than looking at Leon's English winger going under the radar. Mike Oxamel's grim. I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about the player. Never heard of him, so enlighten me. But I see what you're saying about Sancho. Situation stinks the same old. Being held to ransom. It's going to drag out. And the reports are that Manchester United are, very relaxed about the situation, and they're frustrated, but they're relaxed in terms of there's our transfer window doesn't shut till October. So I can see why people are saying that. Joseph Tidyman says Sarr is good. Shout Richarlison as well as other alternatives. There you go. A lot of people have mentioned Richarlison as a player. A lot of people mention Ismaila Sarr from Watford as well. So look, it's going to be really interesting the way it plays out. But one thing I've got to say is that did I get done? I got done. Flex, you got baited. I must have got done. Explain it to me again. It's such a good one. I've just been done. Look at these comments. I must have got done as well. All right, cool. I'll accept it if I get done. But the man is saying clip it and send it to Goldbridge. I must have got absolutely done. And the worst thing is, I don't even know how. I do not even know how. Someone let me know what I said. Put it into the context and put it into the little brackets. Let me know what I said if I got done. That's what you got to do. If you get done, you got to hold out your hands and say you got done. I've never been done before, so fair play to whoever done me if I got done. I can't see it. Right. So back to the Andreas thing. He can't play for Manchester United at the level that we want. Yeah. If you're just joining us, reports that he wants to go and leave, and I think he should. Is it a concern that Solskjaer's actually asking him to stay? Kind of, unless he sees it as we're not going to get anybody, so we need to fill a void. Because if Solskjaer doesn't think he's going to get the backing to go off and get more players in the summer transfer window, then why is he going to sell Jesse Lingard? Why is he going to sell Andreas Pereira? Unless, again, like what some people were saying, is unless we get some key departures to raise money for other transfers to help out, then that should help. So it's an interesting one. I think the best thing for him to do is go. I think he should go because he's not going to play and he's not at a required level. It'd be interesting to see how that one plays out. People are saying that, I basically said the player, he's not a real player. So I think that's what's come from. Yeah, there you go. Mike Oxamel's grim. There you go. I've been done. But I did say never heard of him, and that would be probably why, because he ain't a real player. I wanted to talk about this lastly before I go, guys. It's just a quick one. Over 6,000 people watching this late as well, which is sick, by the way. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. Tap the notification button as well to get all of our notifications of when we go live. I want to talk about, I saw the timeline going off yesterday. There was all this Bruno thing and Rashford's not this, Pogba's not this and all this. I'm like, rah, this is just mad. Like, people just insecure in their feelings so much. I'm just like, every player has their faults, has their weaknesses that they need to improve on. Luke Shaw, we want to see him go forward a lot better. We want to see him have end product. Wan-Bissaka, we want to see him improve his feet. Lindelof might get done by a little bit of strength foot in the air. We might see Harry Maguire get done for pace. De Gea needs to come and command his box. Paul Pogba, yes, he's the complete midfielder, but sometimes he doesn't play simple enough. I always say, sometimes he doesn't do the simple things well enough or quick enough. Bruno, he gives the ball away a lot sometimes. Well, a lot in general, because he's always trying something. Martial, probably the only one who actually is quite flawless at the moment. Rashford goes in and out of games, in and out of form. Mason Greenwood might go quiet until he has a shot. Like, it happens. Matic might make a few couple of silly fouls. McTominay, everyone has their individual things they need to improve on. No player is perfect apart from Ronaldo, Messi, and Neymar and Mbappe, let's say. Do you know what I'm saying? So this thing of like nitpicking this, nitpicking that with stats and all of this, and people were making arguments for this and people were making arguments against, and like the whole fan base was just going against each other. I don't understand it. You can talk about constructively, right, in this position, we probably need better if we want to challenge. I understand that, which is what I'm saying like now. If we want to seriously challenge for Liverpool, we can't just get Sancho and think that's enough. We need a better central midfielder. We need a better defensive midfielder partnership. We need a better centre-back partnership. Essentially, we need better fullbacks, whether they can grow to that level or not. We need better. But to just be going at it, I was just like, why is everyone losing their heads over this? I don't understand. It's like Twitter was in meltdowns. United fans going at each other. Just celebrate that we got good players, man. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't understand it. Ashu says, Flex, we need to breed academy players. We're not winning a title next season anyway. Look at Trent and others. If Pereira goes, and we can do that. Yeah, maybe Hannibal could get in as well. We always want to breed in youngsters, but they've got to be ready. Do you know what I'm saying? Mason Greenwood has proved that he's ready to play at this level. Ricky says he's not quite there yet. He's not bringing enough to the games. It's not just about goals, and Mata would be better than him in that position. But I think out of what we've got, Mason Greenwood's more than proved he has enough to kick on and be a superstar. Flex, wish me a happy birthday, says Mukungu Tony. Happy birthday, bro. Big up yourself. There was another super chat here before I wrap up that I want to get read out. Pete Squire says Upamecano tonight, fire. Yeah, he was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It just shows why everyone was kind of after him. Bless Arsenal fans for thinking that they had a chance. I know we kind of wanted him for a bit as well, and you look at Koulibaly as well, but there were certain Arsenal fans, hold tight, Bav, all he did was tweet about Upamecano and put up these pictures, bless him, thinking that his team could afford proper players like that. But yeah, they've obviously got Saliba and that dead Mario, whoever they got, Rob Holding, with them shit players. But yeah, that's just what happens. Hakim was a big part of Sancho game. Hakimi was a great player. Obviously, he's left there now as well. Do you think Aaron Wan-Bissaka might hinder Sancho full potential, or do you think Sancho might relieve Wan-Bissaka of his attacking duties? What are your thoughts about injury-free Axel? So a couple of questions in there. I mean, I think he will relieve some of the pressure off Wan-Bissaka. I don't think he will hinder Sancho. I think, look, Wan-Bissaka on Wan-Bissaka, he's got gears to go up. He needs to improve his feet. He needs to improve his intelligence. Defensively and athletically, he's brilliant. Pace, he's brilliant. Strength, he's brilliant. And positionally, as a right back, he's actually very good. And in one-on-one situations. But going forward, I think there's a lot to be desired for. His natural touch on the ball, how he receives the ball, what he does with the ball is not always as smooth as we would like. So I don't think he would hinder Sancho. I think he would actually probably thrive off having Sancho around, because Sancho would take two the players out of the game straight away. That's how good Sancho is. So that's the first bit. And what are my thoughts on an injury-free Axel? Look, Axel looks like he possesses the qualities, but I just don't know how fit we can keep him. I really don't. I don't think that he can stay fit right now. I liked what he done, obviously, in the Championship with Aston Villa, and I thought it would have been massive for him to have played that whole season. I know it would have been a relegation battle, but it would have been good experience for him. But Solskjaer making that decision to send Chris Smalling out and keep Axel was massive. That shows that, you know, he sees him as next in line, which obviously didn't materialise. So I like Axel Tuanzebe a lot, but I don't see him being able to get an extended run in the team, very similar to Eric Bailly as well. Tinky or Coco, big up for the contribution. Flex, good morning from Australia. Look at that, man. Morning time in Australia. I'm trying to be positive, man, about everything. So big up and keep on bringing us the good news about any transfer. Big up yourself out there in Australia. Hold tight, you're watching from Australia as well. And I think there was one more super chat, if I'm not mistaken. Nah, I've read them all out. So yeah, that's it, guys. Gonna wrap it up. Oh, there was one more there. If you could buy Ronaldo, should we buy him? Says Bartek. Depends how much, but I would have him back. You can't say no to Ronaldo, even at this age. I'd still have him. You find out where to play him afterwards. As long as it weren't no big 100 million, 80 million, whatever, because he is getting on a bit now. But I would definitely take Ronaldo back. He's still be better than all of our forwards. Anyway, I'm out of here, guys. Smash a like on the video. Let us know what your thoughts are on Andreas Pereira potentially heading for the exit door at Manchester United. It'd be interesting to keep track of this story as it progresses throughout the next coming days, weeks, and maybe the last couple of months as well, to see what happens there. Check out my YouTube channel, The Flex. If you haven't subscribed already, check that out. Got some new video content going out tomorrow. If you're into your sneakers, check that out. And check out my socials, Flex UTD, across all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And more importantly than any of that, make sure you subscribe to United Stand and make sure you're following us on all of our platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I think we're at 300K on Twitter now as well. That is massive. So big up you guys around the world, wherever you're watching from. I'm going to go and get a nice bottle of water and hit my bed. I'm tired. Peace.